evening. On behalf of Gujarat Student Startup and Innovation Hub, I welcome you all to the 100th webinar under the flagship initiative Startup Sathi. It is my privilege to extend a cordial welcome to all our dignitaries. Honorable Minister Shri Saurabh Patel Sir, Anju Sharma Ma'am, Principal Secretary, Education Department and Chairperson iHub, Professor Himanshu Pandya Sir, Vice Chancellor Gujarat University and Chief Mentor iHub, Shri G.T. Pandya Sir, Director Technical Education, Shri N. Nagarajan Sir, Director Higher Education, and Shri Hiranmay Manta Sir, CEO iHub. During the entire lockdown period, we have conducted webinars involving eminent speakers across the globe. Let's have a glimpse of the past webinars. I would now like to request Shri N. Nagarajan Sir, Director Higher Education, to welcome us.
Thank you. It is my proud privilege to welcome Honorable Minister Shri Saurabh Patel Sir, who is the Minister for Environment, who is the Minister for Energy and Petrochemicals, Government of Gujarat. I am happy to welcome Chairperson iHub and Principal Secretary, Higher and Technical Education, Ms. Anju Sharma, IAS. I am also happy to welcome Professor Himanshu Pandya, who is Chief Mentor of iHub and Vice Chancellor of Gujarat University. I also welcome Dr. Mr. G.T. Pandya, who is the Director of Technical Education. I extend a warm welcome to all the participants across Gujarat, all the faculty of various colleges, government, grant in aid and other institutions who have been the pillar of support for this 100 webinar series, which was started during the pandemic under the guidance of Principal Secretary and Chairperson iHub. The wonderful initiative has reached thousands of students and a lot of faculty who have become mentors in the system. And it is our proud privilege to have Honorable Minister who has extensive experience in industry, startups, innovation, and also in the government. And he is the best person to guide us all in this 100th webinar where we are touching this century. I extend a very warm welcome to Minister Sir and all the panelists in this session. Thank you.
I would now like to take this opportunity to welcome Professor Himanshu Pandya Sir for his address.
Good evening, Namaskar. iHub is a government of Gujarat enterprise where the deep involvement of Honorable CM Sir and the fellow ministers, those who are constantly supporting this startup and entrepreneurship activities in the state of Gujarat. It's a very ambitious project. We know that entrepreneurship is there in the blood of every Gujarati. But to nurture them at the global level with the global competency, you have to have certain refinement. Innovation Hub is started with Student Startup and Innovation Policy, Government of Gujarat. This is one step forward to nurture and to empower the entrepreneurs of the state to global level. I really appreciate more than 15 programs initiated by iHub to support and to mentor all these enterprises. In a way, if you look at to the novelty of the ideas, each and everyone is having something within their brains. But when it comes to the execution of those ideas, to develop certain prototypes and to develop certain products out of that prototypes, it requires a lot of efforts, lot of mentorship, funds, and guidance. At iHub, we help and support all these new endeavors and ideas, those who are potential of converting into some products. We know that we are living in an age of competency where the global market is waiting for us. People say that the coming time is for India. With more than 65% of youth, if we can guide them, if we can encourage them to become an enterprise, I think we can solve the problems what a developing country like India is facing today. हमें बड़ी खुशी है कि इस सेक्शन में जो कि 100th वेबिनार आज हो रहा है, we are proud and privileged to have Honorable Minister Sir, Mr. Saurabh Patel, who himself is a torchbearer for all the initiatives in the sector of energy and petrochemicals. In a personal capacity or a ministerial capacity, what he has delivered to the state, and for that we are number 1 state as far as the petrochemicals and energy conservation is concerned. I thank you, sir, for your time and your encouragement, and we welcome you to this 100th webinar series. Under this Startup Sathi webinar series, we provide all sort of mentorship to their IP support, to their funding support, to their idea, right from ideation to the materialization of product. Every sort of support is available at iHub. And this is the first time where any state government is engaged into such activity. This is a full-fledged platform where our young enterprise can come and they can get all sort of support at one platform. For that, I would really appreciate the efforts made by Mr. Hiranmay Mahanta. He is a CEO of iHub, and the efforts right from 5th April to today, our respected Madam Anju Sharma, she is constantly present in each and every seminar and encouraging our young budding enterprises. With these words, I would again welcome Honorable Minister Sir and the team iHub to this 100 Startup Sathi webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It is my privilege to invite Anju Sharma ma'am, without whose guidance an event of this magnitude would not have been possible. I welcome you, ma'am, for your special address.
Namaskar. Good evening. Honorable Shri Saurabh Patel, Energy and Petrochemical Minister, Government of Gujarat. Dr. Himanshu Pandya, Chief Mentor of iHub and Vice Chancellor of Gujarat University. Mr. Nagarajan, Director of Higher Education, and other people who are present here. It's our proud privilege today that the 100th webinar is being addressed by our Honorable Minister, sir, who has a vast experience, not only in energy sector, but in industry sector, in startup sector, and he has seen the entire startup ecosystem very closely. And this was perhaps the most important reason why we thought that he was a best suited person to address the 100th webinar, and we requested him to address our 100th startup webinar, and he very It is our privilege that he agreed and he could find time to do it. In iHub, we are trying to provide a one-place solution to all the startups for all their needs, from learning how to create a startup to taking it ahead and taking it beyond. So this involves right from design thinking to IPR to making them develop ideas, nurturing their ideas into prototype, providing support for that, providing them mentors, providing them technical guidance on creating a company, incorporating a company, and then taking ahead. So we are an incubator as well as a hub for all the startup related activities. A Section 8 nonprofit company, we have now come a long way in supporting the young startups in the entire state. And our journey has been especially intensive during the COVID times, where we have connected online with the young startups and we have engaged them into the startup related activities and intensified their efforts. We have been running several special challenges for that purpose, and we've been encouraging them. We have been mentoring them also online and taking up various activities. As a part of this, sir, I would like to ask my first question from you. We have your experience to guide us. What is your view on role of young startups in Atmanirbhar Bharat? Now we're talking of Atmanirbhar Bharat. We've been giving several schemes for that. And this is what we are realizing in the country, that this is a great opportunity for us to do it. Sir, your views on that.
Good evening. Namaste. First of all, my congratulations to the Education Department for this 100th web seminar. I remember 5 years back when we were making this policy, the industry department was involved. But I'm so glad that the Education Department has played a major role in developing the startups over a period of time. Because finally the students are in the universities and the hand-holding have to be done by the industry after a certain level. So we have made good use of the lockdown period, and it is, I'm 100% sure that Gujarat would be the only state in the country to do such a wonderful program for their students. So my congratulations to them. Coming back to your question of Atmanirbhar. Now, why Atmanirbhar? That is more important. See, if you look at India has got a very young population, number one. Number two, balance of trade, if you look at, we import a lot of things. Comparatively, there is always a deficit as far as balance of trade is concerned. And we have very young minds who can do wonderfully well. Now, only thing what we have to do is to give opportunities, create opportunities for them, and show them a roadmap. Now, if you give them opportunities, I'm sure the dreams of our Honorable Prime Minister to make India self-reliant.
A fine question from his report.
Can you hear me? The self-reliant, what our Prime Minister's goal is, our students, this young population can achieve it in the shortest possible time. So how can this be done? It's an important question. Atmanirbhar, we have to do it. For our benefit, we have to do it. And this is where the universities have to get involved in it. Say, for example, you are doing a wonderful job. Now, how the universities are involved? What is the level of involvement? What is the handholding done by the government in the universities? So all these things play a very important role. But every imported product or anything which is new technology, if you want to be self-reliant, then Atmanirbhar is very, very important for our country.
Right, sir. I think we will moderate the session, and we appreciate your suggestion that if it is a question answer session, then it would be more interesting than speaking to one particular idea. So with that particular suggestion, I would like to go further that you rightly mentioned that the role of the university is very important when you are talking about the startup and its ecosystem. So if you look at the foreign universities like Stanford, Oxford, Harvard, they have a dedicated system where they have a different corpus for the startup and their working. So if it comes to the funding availability of the funds and the channelizing of the energy and mentorship, they have a very robust system where right from the inception, when they are opting for their education or their streams, suppose arts, commerce, science, or medical, or literature, anything. So they have a particular channel to go for this. So what would be your advice to universities like us, where we can incorporate all these things right from the entry level?
See, first thing my suggestion would be to the education department. We are spending a huge amount on education, maybe 25,000 crores we might be spending, not less. Now, all of us will have to sit and say, do you want to do and teach only the basic subjects, or you want to go one step ahead? Then if you want to go one step ahead, then this is the step which you should go ahead. So certain percentage of the funds given to universities should be spent on building up startups. Say if Gujarat University is getting an X amount of money, then a certain amount of money can be handed to the management of university to build up young entrepreneurs. And over a period of time, the success ratio has to be established. Say when we have the best of why are universities world over are so popular. Say when you talk Oxford or you kind of Stanford. And a foreign student wants to go to a university because he's got more and more opportunities of learning. Now, such independence have to be given to our universities also for promoting startups. And this huge budget, a small, say, let's assume 1% of the total budget, then also it comes to 200 crores. Now, I'm not saying 200 crores you give it to one particular university, but identify certain centers that who can build up startups and who are ready, who have got a team of professors, who have got research centers in their organizations, who are ready to promote such entrepreneurs, and these entrepreneurs should be promoted. Then the role of the industry comes in of handholding. Say, I'll just give you a small example. Let's say what energy department did. Now, in the energy department, we don't have a lab. What we did was we had one, but we didn't have people for research. So IIT Gandhinagar was roped in. And our small team of engineers who have their day-to-day issues are being worked up with IIT Gandhinagar, and students are given problems. They try to please resolve this issue. So students work on the problems. I'm not saying every time they're successful, but after 10 problems they work at 2 or 3 problems they get successful, then the industries are told to join hands, a technical bid comes out, and the industry manufactures their product, and we successfully put it in the market. Example, transformers. This is a wonderful example. So something of that has to be done by every university or every university who wants to get involved in this. Say, I would say, I don't know, you might be having 75, 80 institutions in it, but all 80 institutions might not be the best in this line. On the first select 10, push those 10 up. What is the success ratio? And that budget have to be given, and education department has to convince the finance department, and there are people like us in the administration who would back you through. You work it out. Because one thing is very clear. Look at history. Look at the day government has started giving grants to all the colleges. Look at the total salaries of all state government are paid by the government. So the focus is only on administration expenses. The focus should shift to such activities to promote the future or promote the potential of our students. You'll all agree that Indians are the best. Say today, if you look at international top 20 companies in technology or top 20, 30, 50 companies the world over, how many of them are being headed by Indians? Many of these Indians have worked in our colleges. They have worked in the universities, the same universities, which were there also. Now going back to US, why have they excelled? They have excelled because they have been given opportunities by those universities and by industries over there. And today they are leading the organizations. Now today there are companies over here, so especially like let's talk of pharma companies. We are wonderfully doing well in pharma. The research activities in pharma is also very good. And we are proud that even Oxford University have taken Indian companies to build up this COVID drug, to find a solution to it. There are so many Indian companies in India who are in the race today to build up or find a solution to COVID issues. Now why? Because they're good pharmacists. Now these companies have their own fantastic research activities. Now this research activities is done by Indians. But when we talk of startups, there are so many challenges. If we give these challenges to these young minds, I am sure they can do wonderfully well for our country.
Thank you, sir. Wonderful insight. And we also realize that if we have to take the entire system ahead, we had to take along a large number of institutions and a large number of bodies together. And that's what we've been trying to do through iHub. And we've been learning at every level. Sir, you have traveled a lot all over the world. And you have seen progressive ecosystems, startup ecosystems all over the world. What do you think we can learn from them? And what do you think we can implement here so that we can develop our ecosystem into a world-class ecosystem for startups?
See, if you look at all the international universities, the professors, they really, suppose they take a couple of students, then they really guide those students through the process. It might take weeks, it might take months, it might take a couple of years. And complete mentoring is being done. The students and the professors select themselves. And they own it. And you look at it, the best, they select the best of students the world over. And they invite them. Our Honorable Chief Minister has given permission, I think, for a lot of freedom now. But 10 good brains, 10 good minds in a classroom can change the attitude, the thought processes, and the work habits of most of the students. And this is very important. Now, picking up these 10 students, making a team of these 10 students with our students, giving the responsibility to a particular professor who mentors these teams, having a budget of the university of how to promote that startup, giving them all the facilities. And I'm sure our universities can do wonderfully well with their students because our professors are also very intelligent. Only thing we have not been able to get out of our old habits. And I'm not saying the university to be blamed. The government itself is responsible for it. the thinking process of everyone involved have to change 5% to make our dreams of an honorable Prime Minister successful. And I very genuinely feel that the bureaucrats have to play a very, very important role. Very important role. Because small thought process is a change. Let's talk about Gujarat. Why is industry department? Why is it an industrial hub? It is an industrial hub because we always think of making policies which are pro-industries. Whenever you sit, we always think maybe we want to bring those industries, we want to bring X industry, we want to bring Y industry, we want to make it an automobile hub, we want to make it a diamond hub, we want to make it a ceramic hub. Why? Because that is the thought process which builds up. Now, do we have the same thought process? I'm very glad that the education department has taken up the subject in such a big way. Now, the education department have to generally push the finance department, push the government, that this is what we want to do. And this is the only way we can make changes. Because you just have a look at it in the lockdown period. Why is IT doing so well? There are so many states where service sector is doing so well, IT sector is doing well. Because they were early birds and they pushed it. Now today the culture is not that good for IT industry to coming up in the big way. But why GIFT is coming up? GIFT was a brainchild of our Honorable Prime Minister. No one in India had thought of it. He visualized at the time that financial sector, if I push GIFT, if I push Gandhinagar, then lot of Gujaratis and lot of people have a wonderful accounting mentality, thought process. Now, on one side, it was Dubai. On another side, it was Singapore. Between there, you didn't have a financial city. And that every country only has one financial city. You don't have more than one. So the idea of GIFT came in. The UPA government, we initiated it. When the Prime Minister came in, it took one fast track. There were so many reservations of Reserve Bank of India because a lot of freedom is given. Now, if you look at it, slowly and steadily, GIFT Center is being picked up. And I'm very much sure that in the next 3 to 5 years, hundreds of thousands of top financial brains would be working from this GIFT City. Now, when they work with the GIFT City, there are so many potentials of startups being built up in the GIFT City. Now, how can the education department and how can the companies working in GIFT City can jointly work and build up new ideas? Now, technology is going to play a very, very important role in creation of opportunities and creation of new job employment. So let's take the example of RIL. Reliance has been so successful to make the maximum creation of opportunities during COVID time. I don't think that within a short span of so many days, any company in the world has attracted so many big companies and have participated in their equity. Now, Jio platforms, they are working in so many different avenues or rather issues. Now, a vision has been drawn lot of big players have participated in the vision of Mukesh Bhai, and they have invested huge amount. Now, Mukesh Bhai is using the latest technology. Imagine an Indian company saying that we are coming up with 5G. It was never heard, never thought about it 2 years back or 3 years back. Now, when this technology is coming in, how can our universities and how can our students join in the bandwagon? So I think these are the issues which are very important if you want that our students get the ideal, not only job, but ideal companies. Say, I'll just give one example. GSFC, Gujarat State Financial Corporation, was created long time back. At that time, our banking sector was not that strong to finance small sectors, small companies. Government of Gujarat at that time, Gujarat State Financial Corporation, and another GSFC, another GIIC. For small company it was GSFC, for big company it was GIIC. What they did was handholding. And today they are big empires, those same companies. Now when the banks and everything got going, GSFC and GIIC's role was over. So automatically, both the companies, the government decided to slowly and steadily reduce, and today they are nowhere because the bankers have taken. Now the same way, because the role of those two government institutions have helped build lot of big companies. I know so many top companies of Gujarat who started their career by taking a small loan from GSFC and GIIC, and today they are one of the big companies of the state. So opportunities. So the education department has done a wonderful thing, but there are lots and lots of things which still have to be done. And our Honorable Chief Minister is giving a lot of priority to startup. In fact, he wants the startups to come up like anything.
Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate and second the thought what you shared with us, that our Honorable Prime Minister, when he says Startup India, Stand Up India, it's not only a slogan, but it's a movement. Looking back to the development at the government level, the financial city, gift city, what you mentioned, and the financial hub, how these companies are supporting our own endeavors and how you can see future with the example of Reliance Industries Limited. But the overall perception of the society is something different. I would like to have few guidance or few words of wisdom from you, sir, where we can orient our parents that if a student is having some idea in his mind and if he wants to work on this idea, we should not think it differently, because for us and our society, the formal education is very important. And during these formal education years, students are opting for startup ideas and innovation ideas, but they are restricted by the families and the society pressure, so that they cannot undergo with the same development what they are developing in their minds. So with this particular perception of the society, if we can guide us something so that the young entrepreneurs would be having more insight how they should go further. Of course, there is a policy of Government of Gujarat that somebody wants to take a break for a year or so, they can take a break and it won't be considered as a break. Their education would be continuous. They will be awarded the degree with the same continuous pattern. So there are some provisions, but as far as the society perception is concerned, we would like to hear from you, sir.
See, I agree with you. This is one of the problems. Our parents, they look out that our students should get a steady income. So first thing when they say, oh, go and get a job, then you start earning 20,000 rupees a month or 25 or whatever the thing is, and they are satisfied. Now, the difference today is that the young students, especially coming from rural areas, or students who are coming from a lower middle class family, I would say, or even middle class family, they have got a hunger to do something. And this hunger is the only way which will bring them up. They want to achieve something for themselves. So there is a difference in opinion between these young students and their parents. Now, what can the government do, or what can we also do, or what can the industry do? This is just a wide thought. I'm thinking loud. Say, for example, a young student comes in and he's doing up a startup in the electrical sector. Someone is doing up in engineering sector, or which are the sectors he's taking. I think what we should do is that universities, along with the industry department, should identify industries who would handhold these students during that 1 year period or 2 year period. Say, for example, an engineering student. Say, for example, L&T. L&T is being told by you have to handhold X number of students, and whatever the product the student works on it. If it is related to the engineering field or related to the field of L&T, L&T has got a preference in building up that product. L&T also pays him some amount. The government also pays him some amount. So a period of 2 years, the student who is working in your university gets a certain amount assured. And if the student is good enough, then L&T might give an employment after 1 year, 1.5 years full time. So something of win-win situation had to be created. Today, for ITI students, government is giving a stipend, 5,000 or 7,000, I don't remember. But if a company takes people or takes students, then central government is giving a stipend, the state government is giving a stipend, and the company is also giving a stipend. So that all three put together is getting an X amount, take home salary. Something of this type has to be worked out in such a manner that a student who is finished his education wants to work on a startup. The student is being mentored by the professor. The university gives him an okay. The university hands on him with an industry. The government pays certain amount every year. The industry also pays certain amount every year. So he gets a take-home amount, and the take-home amount is a win-win situation for the parent also. The parent also knows that he's getting 15,000, 20,000 rupees. And give him a good amount that he can also work. And the professor, you can grade the university depending upon the success ratio of the startups which are commercialized. Or you can rate that university that how many students have been taken over by institutions after a certain period of time. So something of this type of ideas have to be brought up, because one thing is for sure, that a parent who is spending, and I know a lot of parents who have seen or who have spent money on their student by taking loans from outside, or selling of the land, or selling of the property, or taking government loans. So the first thing what a parent is looking out for, as soon as he passes engineering or any degree, the first thing he wants is how much money he is getting home. And this couple of years of startup should be considered as an experience, because there is a handholding done by an institute which is education or industry.
You're very right, sir. Startups are becoming a new class in itself now, and they are contributing significantly towards development of the economy. And as I see it, and like I generally say this, that a time will come that we may have to put like our classification of GDP from agriculture, manufacturing, and services, and add startups to that. So, how do you think startups can contribute to the increase in GDP, to building up the economy of the nation, and also in bringing a total paradigm shift in the entire economic scenario?
So you look at the strength of a country. Our strength of the country is a young population. This is our strength. And you have to give them opportunities for them to grow. And there is no way we can be number one without promoting startups. Say, I'll give you an example, a very small example. A friend of mine was in a business which the business was closed. Now he wanted his employees to do something. Complete shutdown of his business because of COVID. It was a service business. So they sat together and they decided that let's collect organic vegetables. Now, a small thought, everyone started working because the job was under threat. So everyone was given a vegetable, one was given potatoes, another was given something else. And they said, you start working on a field where you can get vegetables and we can manage it. Now, within a span of 3 months, they put down a business. And today, there is a market for organic vegetables. Only thing what they want is surety of good vegetables. And he started home delivery also. And it is working. Maybe he might not earn in the first couple of 6 months, but a new business has been created. Now, every challenge has to be converted into a business opportunity. Now, the students themselves will find challenges. They sit around and they find their own challenges. And once they find the challenge in day-to-day life, there might be a small challenge, there might be a big challenge. Now, that small challenge, they use it as an opportunity and convert it into a business. Only thing, when they move on the roadmap of finding a challenge and converting into a business, we have to handhold that. And that handholding has to be done by the institute, by the government, and by the financial institutions also. And without that, there is no way we can be an economical superpower like China. So Atmanirbhar, these words of a Prime Minister means a lot and means how to achieve it. That is the goal. We all have to sit together, find a solution to it, and tell these young boys, do it. Otherwise, it is impossible for us to reach the goal which you're looking out for. Tell me why. I just want to ask you one simple question. Why are the best of students going to US? The brains of the world are going to US for further studies. And many of them, they don't come back to their respective countries. Whether they are Indians or whether they are Chinese or whether they are Taiwanese or Koreans or whatever it is. The best stay there in US because they know they are getting an opportunity, they are getting a salary, and the best of companies, they pick them up. They pick them up and they make use them up. They give them a handsome salary and they make handsome profits by giving work to them. Today, you look at all the big companies. The young minds have created products for them. And now if you look at it, now India has also started. Big companies are taking over small companies. I have a startup company. I have developed a mind. I have developed a thought. I have become commercial. I have become successful. Okay, my dream is there. Then a big company comes and gives me such a handsome pay. They say, I'm ready to buy your shares. So the shares are bought. So that guy has developed the whole thing. He's been taken over by a big company. He works for that big company. He gets a salary. He gets a small equity. He builds up his wealth. But ultimately, who benefits? That vision is there of that big major company who has bought up the startup. And he's the small guy scared of that big guy. That I won't be able to compete. So let me sell it over and make myself money. And that is how the big become bigger. But the startup companies have to grow, and only then Atmanirbhar will be successful. Otherwise, Atmanirbhar will not be successful. We'll be only doing job work for others. We'll be doing processing for others. And we'll be the dump yard. People who don't manufacture anywhere in the world will be manufactured by India. That will be our future. So we all have to sit together, including the financial institutions, the universities and the government, to find ways for our young students.
Rightly said, sir. When you look at the growth of the big companies, how the small companies can incorporate their own ideas and how they can be cooperative to the big companies and how together they can grow. Looking at the ecosystem in Gujarat, it's always a favorite destination for any investor. So what is your take on this pandemic? Like iHub was working during this pandemic extensively. We are organizing the 100th seminar. It's not a small thing. For just a few days back, it was just, stepping up what we say, a very little footsteps. And right now it's a 100th webinar, what we are having you as a resource person. So if you look at to this pandemic situation, because, just 2 years back, there was a swine flu. Then there was, bird flu, Cameroon Congo fever, Nipah, Zika, Ebola. Sort of pandemics are at every regular interval. It is coming to the soils, right? So with this particular sort of pandemic and like situation, how we can cope up with the global requirement, how we can emerge as a favorite destination of startup and all these companies.
See, one thing is, I was really surprised when I was told that this is the 100th, because no department in the state of Gujarat have done such a wonderful time. This is during the lockdown period. And I am very much sure nowhere in the country, no one must have used this time for the benefit of the students. And my compliments to your whole team. And I'm so happy that even our Education Minister, Shri Bhupendra Singh Chudasama, under his leadership, you people have done a wonderful job. Now, coming back to your subject you mentioned, it's true. But slowly and steadily, we'll have to get back to the whole thing. Now, even in this period, a lot of companies have created their own opportunities. I know paint companies who are started manufacturing sanitizer. I talked with one of the chairmen of a company. He told me my sale was 30 crore rupees in building up sanitizer. I know an automobile company who started building up ventilators. Now, these were the opportunities which, because of the team, they created it. So, lot of new opportunities will come up, especially where technologies are involved. Because the things which we never heard of, we have started doing it in this period. So I think Gujarat, where Honorable Chief Minister is coming out with a new policy, industrial policy very shortly. Maybe next few days, the policy will be out, and a lot of incentives or Gujarat, always known as an industrial hub, benefits given to the industries. And I'm sure, as you mentioned, startups, industry, financial institutions, let's start working on a brainstorming sessions by mixing up everything and putting up with the chief minister that we want this and this is the only way how to become Atmanirbhar. I'm sure he's with a very open mind. So that is the only way I think we can push. And one thing is, Gujarat shows the nation the way. It is known as the growth engine of the country. And being the state of our Honorable Prime Minister, I think it is our duty. I remember we were the first. I've been looking after the energy department since last 17 years. A loss-making company of 2,200 crores, we converted into a profit-making company in 3 years. And today, 24/7, we are giving powers since last 15 years. Now, so many new ideas and new thoughts have been done in the energy sector over a period of years that the other states have taken initiatives from us. So same way, I think a team, education, industry and everything, let's put together, work out something when the nation follows up. And the new education policy, that also can join in it, which has been just been declared by the center. So all this is put together. I think Gujarat has to show the nation the way. And you people, when you have done a wonderful job in last 100 days, I am more confident than any time before. The potential of our people in the education department and in the universities who have built up this wonderful iHub and iCreate is here. That is being done by our honor. Have you ever heard our Prime Minister going to a startup institute? He specially flew down from Delhi to see what work our students had done in iCreate. Now, what better signals do you have than this? What better direction do you have? A Prime Minister coming and encouraging the students in an iCreate and spending time with that. There is no better message than this. So let's work on it. And if you require any help of mine or anything, I will be love to participate in your brainstorming sessions, because the startup policy 5 years back, I played a very important role in building up, because at that time we were blind where to go at. We never had the thought of education department participating. It was only the industry department. So when the policy came up, it was industry centric. Now I'm glad that the education department has taken the front seat and the industry is sitting in the back seat. So now both of you have to sit in the front seat and push the thing, and then and only the boys will benefit.
Thanks for your kind words, sir. I would like to tell you here that around 680 patents have been filed in the last 2 years by our students, and more than 500 startups have come up from amongst the students in this short period of 2 years. Sir, we have also started a very key program.
Can I come on this subject? I would like to share something with this subject. You mentioned 680 patents, right? Now the 680 patents have been filed. Now, which industries are they related to? Now, after that industry have been related 680, you diversify. Select the 10 best industries and tell the students, help them to go to these industries and have a meeting with the bosses. See, the people down below might not be having the vision of growth. The research department might not be having the vision of growth, but the vision of the growth is with the MD. These 680 patents, identify industries, tell them to go to this thing. They'll be commercially handholding. If out of 680, only 80 might work on, but the students are confident. Give them money. I mean, if they have to go to Bombay, they go to Bombay. If they want to go to Delhi, go to Delhi. The government of Gujarat help them to fix up an appointment, or the university help them to fix up an appointment. Something has to be do it, because if someone comes, a student comes to me over here and says, "Can I build up so and so thing?" He's not encouraged. There has to be a stamp that this has been done by us, and then an appointment has been given. This just a thought came into mind. Go ahead, please.
Sir, we can endlessly hear to you, but I will only ask the last question from you. And this question only you can answer because of your vast experience with industry and energy sector and finance and all that. Sir, how industry association, industry bodies, big industries, and trade associations, how they can help our startup sector and how we can engage them to take this entire movement ahead, because we are, as you are aware, that we stood first in 2019 ranking, and we would like to still go further because we want to reach to the higher, to such heights in the startup sector where nobody has ever gone in to compete only with the Silicon Valley. So how do you think we can leverage the entire industrial infrastructure of Gujarat and India to build up a robust ecosystem that matches at the international level, sir? This is my final question to you, sir.
I'll tell you one thing. Industrial associations have been an experience of 20 years. They have their own agenda. I'm sorry to being so honest, but look at all the top associations and the representations they make, the ideas they give you. They might be 100 people, but their loyalty is more towards the membership. Say if it's an energy manufacturing thing, he's a member, then he writes to an association, and that association represents his problem to the government. He gives ideas to the government how to make new policies, how to make things. But I have not come across a single association who has directly promoted or who have a wing. They have an energy wing, they have an infrastructure wing, they have an X wing, and every wing has 3, 4, 5 people full-time working and trying to resolve issues of that particular wing. But have you heard of the best of associations who have a startup wing? They don't have. Now, we can still involve them. How can we involve them? Say, for example, tie up with Gujarat Chamber. You said you have 800 patents. Now, these 800 patents. Now, Gujarat Chamber have 1,000 members. Out of it, 200 are manufacturing and electrical things. Now, you can, if this 80 patents or 50 patents related to electrical things, a short note can be sent through the associations to this member that so and so patent has been created. There are all possibilities that that industry might look at it as an opportunity for its growth. And if he looks at it as an opportunity for his growth, he might call that boy and say, okay, let's work together. Because end of the day, what he's going to look out is going to look out for his benefit. That is his first priority. So that is, I think, could be the way of helping a startup. But show me one association who have a cell of startup. They don't have. What we can do is also in the government, we have specific, tell them to interact with the association, say how I would help us. And you get their answers. There are so many times we have told them that you come out with specific issues of how to go ahead with ease of doing business. But still, it has not been that encouraging. Ease of doing business is a beneficiary state direct to the industry. but not many suggestions have come. But if you ask suggestions regarding what type of government help you want, what you so and so, you will get suggestions immediately. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So
Yeah, sure.
try to involve them where there is a bread and butter, where involvement of a startup is a win-win situation to that industry as well as to that person who has built up the startup.
Right, sir. It is very evident that if you work with the big association, trade association, and industry department and startups together, we can create an ecosystem where we can address the major issues of our agriculture, our defense system, our healthcare and education system, our cooperation system. So all these things, it requires a lot of time, and you have spared a lot of time today for this 100th webinar. I would request now Hiranmay to say a formal vote of thanks to Honorable Minister Sir and the panelists.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pandya, for giving an opportunity to propose the formal vote of thanks. माननीय मंत्री जी, आपने ये 100 सेशन में आज हमारे साथ ज्वाइन किए और बहुत सारे प्रैग्मेटिक एंड फ्यूचरिस्टिक आइडियाज भी दिए. उन आइडियाज के ऊपर हम जरूर काम करेंगे. We will closely work with other stakeholders like industry chambers and others also. तो हमने जो ये चालू किया था 5 अप्रैल में, तब एक नेगेटिव माहौल था लॉकडाउन के टाइम में कि क्या होगा, कैसे होगा. बहुत लोग विचलित थे और हमारा आइडिया था कि देश से 100 बेस्ट थिंकर्स और एक्शन लेने वाले लोग इनोवेशन के क्षेत्र में, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के क्षेत्र में, उन्हें गुजरात की 14 लाख बच्चों के साथ रूबरू इंटरेक्शन करवाए. शुरुआत में हम भी थोड़े स्केप्टिकल थे, कैसा करेंगे, क्या करेंगे, बट आज 33 लाख लोगों ने व्यू किया है. हम लोग हमारे सोशल मीडिया पेजेस के थ्रू देख रहे थे और ये 17 स्टेट से लोगों ने देखा है. तो ये जो गुजरात सरकार की प्रयास रहा अंजू मैडम की मार्गदर्शन में, ये सिर्फ गुजरात के बच्चों के लिए नहीं, ये पूरे देश के लोगों को फायदा मिला. तो कहीं ना कहीं ये जो प्रयास हुई, ये सीरीज भी एक स्टार्टअप ही जैसा था आई हब की मार्फत. और इसके लिए ऑनरेबल शिक्षा मंत्री जी चुदासमा साहब, आप सबकी काफी इन्वॉल्वमेंट रहा और उसकी वजह से हम इसको कर पाए हैं. हमने रिसेंटली जब आपकी जो विभाग है उसकी मार्फत हम लोग गुजरात ऊर्जा विकास निगम लिमिटेड के साथ एक MOU भी किए हैं. तो आपने जो ये बात बताई कि स्टूडेंट्स को फील्ड चैलेंजेस के साथ एंगेज करना, उनको मेंटरिंग करना, उनको जोखिम राशि देना, उसके ऊपर भी कोशिश कर रहे हैं और उस चीज में हमने ऑलरेडी कोशिश कर लिए हैं. तो वो एक हम लोग ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ आई हब एंड द एंटायर इकोसिस्टम, आई वुड लाइक टू थैंक यू फॉर सपोर्टिंग whenever and wherever we needed you. So that will be a real inspiration for all of us. I would like to thank Anju Sharma Madam, Principal Secretary Higher and Technical Education and Chairperson iHub. She not only guides us, she actually drives us. And not only drives from the side seat, she drives from the front seat. So she herself has allotted every Saturday, whether it is a working or non-working, she is personally mentoring sirs 4 startups every Saturday, giving half an hour to each of them, ably joined by the team of Directorate of Technical Education, Director of Higher Education, and our Chief Mentor Himanshu sir. So when such kind of ownership and drive force come from the top, it also actually give us a kick to do more better things on behalf of the iHub team. So I would like to thank Anju Sharma Madam for giving us that trigger into our entire movement. So thank you so much, Madam, for guiding us and driving this entire thing. I must thank Dr. Himanshu Pandya, the Chief Mentor of iHub, and कुलपति जी हैं गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी में, काफी बिजी रहते हैं, बट बिजी शेड्यूल में भी वो वक्त निकालते हैं हमारे स्टार्टअप्स के लिए, टीम्स के लिए. और नॉट ओनली ही हिमसेल्फ फाइंड टाइम्स, ही आल्सो क्रिएट कनेक्शंस. अक्षय इंडस्ट्री जो ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर साहब ने बताया कि अक्षय मेंटर्स के साथ जोड़ना, अक्षय इंडस्ट्री के साथ जोड़ना, and he has been quite proactive in terms of rather than we chasing him to get his mentorship, he is chasing us to offer his service. So as having you to guide the entire movement is a wonderful thing, sir, for the entire movement. I must thank you on behalf of the entire student startup and innovation ecosystem in the state. And right from the beginning of the entire game, we have Nagarajan sir with us. So Mr. M. Nagarajan, the Director of Higher Education, Initially, when we started the entire series, rather than any of us in the team, he was the host of every session till the 30th and 40th session. And I remember the speaker might be 5 minutes late, but he is there 5 minutes before the session. So thank you, sir, so much for getting involved into the entire planning of the entire program and getting this ball rolling for the entire ecosystem thing happening. And because of you, the entire connection started happening and the entire movement got a new momentum into it. We have GT Pandya sir, the Director of Technical Education. And whenever iHub is a very startup baby, is a new organization. And you can say we actually landed up in a COVID situation when we were trying to take off. But then we have a back office team and a back hub team at SSIP cell at GKS, which is guided by GT Pandya sir, our Technical Education Directorate. And the entire team led by Dharmendra Mandleji, Tushar sir, and the entire team of SSIP, they have been the real people to get the back thing happening. They are the real backbone to get it going. And apart from that, my team at iHub, we have a very young team. We do a lot of mistakes, but we are little lean. We learn a lot. And all of you have guided us to learn faster. We fail fast, fail quite often, but then we don't repeat mistakes. So that's the kind of DNA that we are developing. And we are trying to learn a lot from all of you, from public life, from managing institution, helping people. So the entire young team, I mean, I will put on record that this team has stayed inside the KCG premises because this was a red zone at that time. We could not go out, but we didn't want to stop a single day event. So like the Ramayana was aired right at 10 in the morning, we ensured that every day at 4 p.m. we are live with amazing guests to all of the stakeholders in the ecosystem. So I thank the entire team, particularly my digital media team, who ensured that there is no glitch. Because initially when we aired the sessions in Gujarati and Hindi, we got a lot of requests from Tiruchinnapalli to Shillong. They told that, we want to learn, make it more nationalistic. So that way we accommodated those requests and we really made it starting from Gujarat but going global. So that was the kind of team support that we got, and also the entire education department, Honorable Minister of Education, and the entire team, the directorate of both the departments, and also the support that we got from all the speakers. And none of the speakers ever deferred his talk, whatever the situation is. And we got more than 15 Padma Shris, more than 10 Padma Bhushans talking to different stakeholders in the ecosystem. So it was a wonderful journey, but this journey is a beginning. We are yet to go a long way, and we seek on behalf of iHub blessings from all of you to take this movement to next stage. Thank you so much, sir, for joining today. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you, Anju Madam. Thank you, Himanshu sir. Thank you, Nagarajan sir, and thank you, Pandya sir and the entire team. Thank you so much.